Hello again. Well, as you can see, I'm still working on my curtains. I still have to finish those corners. I forgot about those. And I'll just stitch those in place. And that will make it look nice. I have some needles and some thread. I think that's a good color. Yep, I'll use that, and I'll just stitch the corners in place. But it's been a very busy week for me, and I have to say that I'm starting on a new project. I have already started, and I haven't been home a lot because of it. But now I know what I'm going to do, and I'll be busy with that all year. And I will show you some of the things I'll be working on during the year. But you'll have to wait and see the finished product. And like I said, did I just say that? It will take me all year, probably until December. So that's a big job. but I look forward to it, and I think it will be really, really nice. But first I want to finish those curtains, and I'll do a little stitching. Right, so my curtains are finished. Well, I stitched them anyway. I finished the corners. I forgot about the corners. I just did that. And now I have to pleat them. And as I said before in the other video, I'm just going to put them on this brass rod on the top. And I have worked out how I'm going to do that, and I'll show you that later if I have time. But I have to pleat them, and I'll do that by just putting them in a shape and adding a little bit of water. And I'm just going to be using water, and it's just going to nothing else, because I used to put like hairspray in there or some kind of starch, something to keep the fabric strong, but it's not necessary, because the fabric will, especially silk, will, if it's wet and you shape it and you let it dry in that shape, it will stay in that shape, and nothing's going to happen to it. It's just going to be in that room. It's not going to be handled, so it will just keep the shape. And the other thing was that with the hairspray, even though I remember I researched it back then, and it was supposed to do nothing to the fabric, but that, in my experience, it did actually fade the fabric. And I can tell in my, which room is that? The blue salon. Now that's not in the sun at all. None of my rooms are getting any sunlight or not a lot of daylight anyway. So it cannot have been the light that has faded the curtain. So it must have been the hairspray or whatever I put in that water. So this time it's just water in a, tap water. We have very good tap water here in the Netherlands, very clean. So I'm just going to be using that. Now the other thing I did, take a little template of sorts. It's just the width of the window. It's not important, but I just thought I'd show you. And what I'll do is I'll drape it like this, and I'll have a little emboss, and then hang it down from there. Now what I don't like is when the fabric sort of, a lot of times you see, because of course fabric, it's supposed to be 12 scale, but the fabric is still real full scale fabric, even though this is silk and it's a little bit thinner. But it tends, look, if you pull this together, this is what it does. So it stands out like that. Now in real life, it would never do that because of the weight of the fabric. Well, maybe a little bit, but the weight of the fabric would pull it down because of, gravity. So it would be pulled down and it would more or less hang straight from wherever you gather the pleats here, where you put the emboss. And then it would kind of hang straight from there. So I'm going to try and achieve that. And the other thing is, I have these, they're called pretty pleaters. And I got them way in the beginning, almost 20 years ago when I just started out in miniatures. Because they were advertised everywhere, and they were talking about how and it is easy. It's a very easy way to make pleats, but I don't like them. I think they're too uniform, and they look very stiff and unnatural to me. And it's also the style of the curtains that I'm not. That's a personal thing. I like it to be a little bit more, not so, how should I put it, formal. Even though these are quite formal curtains with all the, all the little fringe and it's going to be tassels on there. I like them to be a little bit less formal by having pleats that are, more natural. So I'm just going to, and what I thought I'd do is I'll stick, I don't really need this. This is just to give me an idea where where they're going to be picked up. So I thought I'll just stick that to here. And this is a bit of MDF, which has like a coating on it, so it if I put water in here, it doesn't matter. Nothing will happen to it. And I'll just stick that down. So it will stay in place. And I can also do that with the pleats at the bottom. And as you can also tell here at the top, because of the fabric, I pushed it all against there. You can't, there's no way I can push it even, just a tiny bit closer to, and that's it. It won't get any narrower. If you want to have this narrower, you have to put less fabric there. I quite like that. But I'll just stick that down and maybe do a little bit here as well. There. And now I can start to make the pleats and just fold them. I'm just going to do that by hand. And also what I sometimes use are the backs of paintbrushes, because they have, they taper towards the ends. So if you put a paintbrush in here, just pick up a little pleat. You put a paintbrush in here, it will naturally be thinner at the top than at the bottom. And I like the way it's rounded. So if you can, arrange that. Actually, the curtains I did in the blue salon, I did all with paintbrushes like this, next to each other. I picked them up like that. Maybe a thinner one in the center, like that. I do need a lot of paintbrushes for that, but it does work. The other thing I'm doing differently now than I did before is that I used to put pins in the silk to keep the silk in place. I'm not doing that anymore because the pinholes in silk, at least, pinholes will remain visible. And I just don't like that. That annoys me. I could put pins in here through the fringe, because then you won't be able to see that. But in here, over here, I wouldn't be able to do that because, or I could do it, but I just don't like it because it shows the pinholes. Now this is a bit of a process. You just have to fiddle with it a little bit. Of course, this is a lot of fabric. But this is how you can do it if you want. And make the pleats look the way you like them. And then you have to let them dry. And once it's dry, you can just hang them up and play with them a little bit more. We'll see. I'll let this dry, see what it looks like. Now, get that out of the way. The other thing I did, on the pelmet, to tie in a little bit more with the curtains, here's the other one. Still have to pleat that one, but the first curtain's drying now, so, and I need the board. To tie it in a little bit more with the curtain, I put a little bit of the same picot. Well, like I said before, we call it picot tape, picot band. A little bit of a different fringe. Put that on here as well, because without it, I just felt it just looked wrong. But what I have to do, so I like that. And I think I mentioned it in the comments. At first I wanted just very simple curtains, no fringe, nothing. And then of course I made the pelmets, and then I started to put fringe on it, made the curtains, put that on it. So yeah, they're becoming a little bit more formal or frilly than I had in mind, but it doesn't matter. But the thing is, so I did that, and now I have to attach the pelmets. And in the comments, Norman Shadow Norman Shadow One said, made a comment, and he was or she was absolutely right, because the window ledge is sticking out a little bit. So the curtains would, if I would attach them on the inside of the window frame, the curtains would hang out over the window ledge. And I did see that myself as well. And I just kind of think, I'll get there when I get there, solve the problem as I get there. But he or she, her or his comment was absolutely correct. And I thought, yeah, I have to address that before I hang them. And I have decided on what I'm going to do. So what I'll do is make 2 side pieces, and it also helps me to attach the brass rods. So I'm going to make 2 side pieces, upholster them as well. And actually it's the same thing I did on my curtains in my first canal house in the salon. So attach 2 side pieces. So this will stick out a little bit further. And so that way, when the curtains are attached on the inside, they'll hang straight down and won't sort of stick out from the window, ledge. You'll see. And this is just a felt that I'm putting on the underneath the silk. It's not really necessary, but yeah, I just like it. So I need 3 of these. Now I hope I'll remember, because next week there's a little fair, which I probably will be going to. I hope I remember I have to buy glue. I'm matching the fabric up to the top of the helmet, like that, because you will be able to see that once I install these. These go over the top, so this goes in here. So I've ironed over the edge. So once that goes in there, and it's attached to the top like that, then the fabric will continue, because you'll see it because it's sticking out a little bit from the top, so you'll be able to see it if you look onto it. So that's why I'm doing that. I've glued one of them, and here you can see that it's very nice that they match up right there. So looking so nice. Now, of course, the fringe is missing here, so I made up some more fringe material. And I hardly have anything left, so I cut off all the long pieces from the back of the silk, and this is all the silk I have left, nothing else. So I made good use of it. By now the curtain has dried and I can peel back the tape on here. Now this will need some adjusting, I think, down here. Okay, excuse the mess on my workbench. I've just finished this helmet. I've cut the curtain rod to size and I've put these little blocks of wood in there, which makes it very easy to slide the curtain poles in there. And I've left a little bit of space back there so the curtain can slide up against the edge. Otherwise it would be like this a little bit, which I don't like. So now it's against the edge. Slide that over. So I've put them all the way to the top. There we go. Oh, okay. Let's see. Okay, I have to use the last window because otherwise my camera won't pick up the shot. So I still have the tape in there, so I can just stick it in there temporarily. Okay, I still have to fiddle with the curtains, but it won't stay up. Tape. We need more tape. A little bit more tape in there. It looks pretty big. Oh, it is really big. So I still have to fiddle with those. Gosh, I'm not sure I like that actually. Maybe if they're all in there. Maybe if I put some more furniture in it. That was a lot of work to make those. And here you can't see the top on the back one, but here on the front, if you would come to the front, you would just be able to see right on top of that. If I put it here, see, you could just see that really well. So I have to do a little bit more with the draping and all that. Well, I'm not thrilled with it, but yeah, I still have to do a little bit more work, make it a bit more, give it a bit more drape and all that. Because now it looks odd. But like I said, I don't know. Maybe if I put all three of them in there, I still have to finish the other two. I ran out of curtain rod too, so I have to buy that at a fair next week. And some more glue. I'm out of glue as well. But probably if I add some of the silk color somewhere, I don't know, with a curtain, with a cushion or somewhere else, it will look better. It's falling down too. But, well, the continuing saga, it's a lot of work. I'm not that thrilled. I'm not sure if I like the, maybe I do. I don't know. Maybe I should put it on the other side. No, I shouldn't. It would have been better if this was up a little bit higher, but that's not possible. I find the pelmet very heavy, and maybe if I put more roundness or volume, like volume on the curtains and the embrasse, or that from the same material, it might look better. Anyway, that was a long video. I've got a lot of video footage out already. And they're still not finished. Anyway, thank you for watching. Until next time.